Hi, my name is Johan Klingberg, and just like you, I enjoy fly fishing most in the world, and fly tying is one of my greatest hobby. Mainly, I love fly fishing for brown trout and rainbow trout, and therefore I will tie a super special Caddis. This one is tied with bug yarn, which actually is an older form of polyarn. And this polyarn was brought into the Swedish market nearly 50 years ago, and it was sold as ordinary polyarn, and it's actually D or tree colored. So this one is brown, light brown and tan. It was sold for most type of polyarn flies till the mid-80s. After that, most people were asking for one colored polyarn, white, gray, yellowish, any color. And the multicolored polyarn were forgotten about until recent years, when I started to tie with this fantastic material again, because you have a spectra of colors in it, and it is extremely useful for Caddis flies in particular. This one, bug yarn Caddis, is a huge one. It's an imitation of Partridge Hen for large rivers and lake fishing. But I also use a smaller version, tied, I would say, as small as 14 or well, mainly 12 sized hooks. And the good thing is that they will float forever, and I think the shape of them imitates the Caddis in a really good way. Simple to tie, and they will last forever. So what I start with is a big hook for this Partridge Hen. In this case I use Tiemco 5262 size 8. And if you are plus 50, you might, like me, need to use those ones. I tied this fly with just an ordinary 8mm thread, brown, that matched the body as good as well. Fill up the hook shank. Till I come slightly tying a couple of turns in, just in the start of the hook bend, just like that. Now comes the polyarn, the bug yarn. So I take a good piece like this, and I cut this up in 9 lengths. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that, just perfect. So I take a full bunch. For smaller versions, I need to make half it. So I take out half of the fibers for the smaller sizes. So I have a full bunch like this. Tie it in with an open loop, tighten the thread, tie it in like that. Clip it off and take the other bit on top of the first one. So I have 2 bunches, and that's because of the hook size. Otherwise the wing won't fill up good enough. So tie it in there. So what I do now is I take some natural dubbing, in this case Snowshoe rabbit foot dubbing. You could use hair or rabbit as well. I have a bunch, take a small part, and dub it just in an ordinary way. It's very simple. and make the back part of the body, just like that. Now comes the first wing bit. I take this one and I tie this one on the side of the hook shank, on my side of the hook shank, so it covers the first bit of the top. So it will sit like this, 45 degrees, and the ends meets the tail, like that, in front of the dubbing. So I tie it in there, open loop, tighten the thread, pull it. So there we go. Take a new bit, tie that one on the opposite side, meet the ends, hold it in position. So the point is that the wing will cover 180 degrees on top of the body. So I do this 4 times. New dubbing. There we go. Second part, same thing. My side of the hook shank, cover it up a bit, tie it in nice and properly. And the new on the opposite side. So like you can see, there will be loads of material in this fly, but it will float forever. So the second part, some more dubbing. Third part, tie it in. This is a good trick. So when I take the yarn, I hold it in position, I take my left finger on top of the bunch and I can adjust it so I have it cover just that area that I go for, that I aim for. I tie it in there. So we're nearly there. Fix it with my left finger, open turn, 360 degrees, pull it and fix it. So there we go. So now the wing is just where we want it. I have a good brush here, so I brush it up, all the fibers, all the way around, go underneath, take the tail, all of it will be brushed. And I also, right now, turn the vise and I brush also the body. So I integrate the soft natural fibers together with the poly wing. There we go. Now comes the important thing. That's how to trim it. So the first clip goes from here to lower the wing. There we go. The second clip comes on the other side. I don't want to have fibers spread out all over, so I prefer to slim it a bit. Have it there. And look how I put my scissor against the thumb. Have it steady. Look around a bit. I tell you what, I can trim this for 2 days just to get the perfect shape, but I won't do that because that will be very boring to look at. So when I come to here, I loosen the hook, take it out and hold it like this. So I hold it between my forefinger and the thumb and I press so I have even tips here. So now it's really up to you how you like to shape it. I like to go with one clip from underneath to the middle. From here I go around a bit, make it rounder, and then I clip a straight clip from the middle to the left. So it comes a bit like that. Now it actually would work, but I prefer to make 3 more clips. So I put it back or keep holding it in my left hand. It's up to you. But I go with one clip from here and one clip from here to shape it up a bit. And now me personally think it's too high, so I clip it from the top again here to lower it a bit. So there we go, and that's my wing. Look at that. I will take that thing any day in the week if I would have been a trout, for sure. You see, now I'm back again, working with my scissor. Now I'm going to put it back, otherwise I just could continue to clip there. On with the hook again, wind it to where the wing starts. I see some, I just need to take them off. So there. Now I pick any hackle, soft hackle, anything you like. I just love those Partridge Hackles, and I pick a big one, a large one, because I want to have long fibers that moves on top of the surface. So not these short little ones, big hackle, long fibers. You need some action. So I take this one, rip off the soft fibers, both sides. And what I do always, I pick another couple of fibers because I'm right-handed on the right-hand side, because it's always those fibers that cling together and give an awful result at the end. So take off some more fibers on the right side. There we go. This is a good trick to fix a hackle. So, like you can see, I don't tie in the hackle at the back of thorax. I tie it in at the beginning of thorax. So I hold the hackle right there. And you can do this with any sort of hackle. So I hold it there from right to the left, soft turn, slowly from the left to the right. And what I get now is a cross that holds the hackle in position. Pull the hackle so I get the fibers meeting the hook shank. There. And a third turn behind the hackle. Now I have fixed the hackle just in that position I like to have it in. Pull back the root, and there you go on with hard turns to keep it. So there we go. Last thing, some dubbing. And this is how we do it. If you, particularly when you try caddis flies, you want to have some fluffy thing. You want to have some action, some air, moving materials. So what I do is that I take this same dubbing like I used on the body, tie it in, not hard. And as you can see, I use fairly much dubbing here. It's just this bit, but I will brush it to the bitter end. And I tie it in there from the hook eye backwards till I meet the body. The problem here is that dubbing won't last too long when I start with my dubbing brush. So that means that I need to rib it as well. So I rib it with my thread forward to at least have some of the fibers staying on the thorax. Take the dubbing brush and now we'll integrate the soft, cozy dubbing together with the bug yarn fibers. And beware of the hack and take care of the hackle there so you don't squeeze it. And there we go. Go back with the thread, open it up, a couple of turns, so you hang the thread nearly in the middle of the thorax. Take the hackle plier, one full turn at the front, 2 turns in the front, backwards, 2.5 turns, 1.5, as long as it's safe. So there we go. And now I crisscross the thread through the hackle fibers. That hackle will be there forever, will never break. Clip off the tip. We are nearly to finish this off. So pull the fibers backwards, and you can see here is the advantage of making the hackle in that way. Now, the only thing you have left to do is to make a small head. If you had finished the hackle just behind the hook eye, you would have a helmet to last with. So now, just a couple of turns. Fill up the head. It's just perfect. Make a whip finish knot. And we will trim the hackle, and we're done. So there we go. Turn it. I always clip it underneath because I want to have the fly sit closer to the surface. And I can assure you that this poly yarn, these bug yarn fibers, they will float forever. So you don't need to think of the hackle, that the hackle will help the fly to float. But it's actually how the fibers move along the sides of the fly. And that's the reason why I clip it underneath. So here we go. Put some varnish or glue or whatever you prefer on the head, and we're just done. Bug yarn caddis. Like I said to start with, you can tie these for the Progenia grandis, the large caddis flies like this, or you can make it much smaller for the smaller species. It's just up to you. When you tie them that small, you need to think of using less fibers in each bunch, but that fly is tied exactly the same way like the big one. Bug yarn caddis ready to fish with. Pleasure to have you looking at this fantastic fly. Good luck.